Welcome to Movie Reviews by South to Normal with your host, me, Michael Soren. Now, today we're going to talk about episode 7 of Andor. Star Wars story, Andor. In this episode, repercussions of the Aldhani heist reach all the way to Coruscant, while Cassian returns home to get flee and be free. Subscribe, follow along if you like what I'm dropping down. Hit me up with comments for anything you want to see reviewed, anything you want me to talk about. Let me know what your thoughts are, what I'm talking about. We'll all be hunky-dory and have a good time. But here we go. This episode was just like, the last episode was good. This series has been great, but this episode is just like, what? Because everything they've been building up basically gets flipped on its head and like thrown in the trash, and then they're starting over. Cassian, as we know, spoilers. Listen to me before you keep going forward. It's going to be some spoilers moving forward if you haven't watched the whole series now. Up until this point, there will also be some spoilers from this episode possibly announced moving forward. If you can't handle that, let me know in the comments. Be like, yo, stop. I'll come back. Or just go, stop. And I'll say hammer time. But, so turn off right now if you can't handle spoilers, because there may be some moving forward. All right. So last episode, episode 6, the heist went down. People died. And the ending is Cassian and Vel on this planet with that quad pod dude fixing Nimic but he can't fix Nimic, so Nimic's dead. And he's like, I'm going to take what I'm owed. I'm taking my cut. I'm not taking any more. Taking what I was promised, and I'm going to leave you the rest. And deuces, I'm leaving. So he does. He goes back home to Ferrix, tries to get Marva to leave, but she's like, nope, rebellion's starting. Go piss yourself. I'm not gonna run away now. The story of Andor, Aldhani has reached everywhere, and it's kind of inspiring something. As we saw in the last episode, like the Imperial folks are full-blown launching an investigation into what happened. This one starts off like more of that continuing. Cyril's back, and it was like, it's interesting how they're portraying his character, because he doesn't make his desires known, but through his actions, you can tell what he wants, which is just pretty good writing, the way they've done it. This one, he's arguing, like having those short conversations with his mother about how he's not very successful and she doesn't see much in him and all that stuff. And he's supposed to be going to this job that Uncle, forgetting his name, but his uncle, who's sketchy, and you don't really know who he is yet. So I think he's gonna, like, he might be important moving forward because they keep talking about him. Got him, and his mom's like, "What are you doing? Like, what's with your collar?" And because his collar's high, and she's like, "Everyone can see right through you. You want to be something you're not. Essentially, like you're peacocking, if you will, because of whatever reasons." And then the next shot is of the Imperial tunic with the similar height collar. And it's like, yeah, it's what he wants. That's what Cyril wants. He wants to be one of these people who's just like, all order, you're going to listen to me. So it's going to be interesting to see where he goes, because he gets this like boring, mundane job and basically like data entry, what it looks like, or data processing. But he's going to look something up at some point in time to get himself promoted in some fashion. He's going to do something. And on Coruscant, Luthen and Mon Mothma have to get together to talk about what's going on. And he has to put on his facade, but he's smiling and happy and everything's great when he's talking, but he's not really saying happy words because they're closely watching Mon. And like you get this whole behind the scenes thing where she's finally, like, Mon Mothma's starting to pull the trigger on some things and try to move the ball along. And in the end, what happens in the end just like removes someone from the series for a long time. But I can't imagine like it'll stay that way. So there's probably going to be some prison breaks of some form. They set the seeds in motion for some other characters from Rogue One to come back. There's another almost double cross planned. Like I predicted, if you go out over Holdo Maneuver podcast that I talk about Star Wars on all the time, I thought there was going to be a double cross. There kind of was last episode with Skeen, and now there's more of a double cross coming. Not really more, but another side mission that maybe someone doesn't know about. It's being planned away from Luthen, away from Mon Mothma. So it's the writing on this has been superb. It's all like they don't like sit there and talk about their desires and stuff, and it's very real. The series has been very real, and I like that. Like the fact that Cyril eats cereal, just like for whatever reason, just I love that. And it's the cinematography's been beautiful because they're not on stage. They're not doing this on a closed set with the volume, stagecraft, if you will. So you have these wide vistas, which has been refreshing because as much as I loved Obi-Wan, the series, like when I talked to somebody, mentioned how it felt claustrophobic, and I was like, you're right. And I just didn't like, it always felt something was off. And that was the feeling, was the claustrophobia. Because it was all done on these sets. And like with this volume behind them portraying the outside world. But the series was great. So Obi-Wan, check that out. Let me know how you're thinking about Obi-Wan in the comments here, and check out my reviews of Obi-Wan Kenobi, the series, in the comments now. But this series is like taking us to planets we've never been to. It's setting up paths for Rogue One. It's telling these real stories that feel tangible, that like they could happen to you, like in real life, not these galactic wars that we're so used to in the Star Wars series. It's taking what made Rogue One great, putting it into a series, and just keeping the greatness going. This episode will flip some things upside down and just kind of like probably maybe put a thorn in some people's sides, because I can see people getting upset about it. But for the most part, it continues on the superbness of Andor. It's been great. Cinematography's been great. Writing's been great. Like acting wise, everyone's doing their job at least. I can't say great or bad. It's hard for me to judge acting because I'm not an actor. I don't know. I just don't know. Like I try my best. I'm probably gonna miss the mark most of the time. The infighting between the rebels, between the Empire, between everyone, like it's not like, seems like it's just part of the writing, the way they wrote the infighting, the way they write so much into it. And it's all well thought out, well planned. There's probably some loopholes I'm missing and some Easter eggs. Like Easter eggs get planted, but hasn't been to the point where they're calling attention to the Easter egg, and the Easter egg's drawing attention away from the show. It's just stuff in the background, little nuggets there for all the nerds out there like me. But Andor is streaming now on Disney Plus. I'm digging it. I'm buying what they're laying down. Episode 7 was great. I got to go watch it a couple more times to get ready for more for the podcast. It's coming out later this week. I'll post a link to that site in the description below. If you love Star Wars, hit a thumbs up. Leave me some comments. This episode continues the goodness of this series, and it's been everything I didn't know I wanted and more. Like it's been so good, so great. Like it's just so entertaining, and I watch these episodes multiple times, and it doesn't strain me to do so. Like a lot of the stuff that I get reviewed on this, if I watch it once, the second time through for more of an understanding, it's just like I'm pulling my hair out. Just like, oh, I just can't. This hasn't been that way. So let me know what you think about Andor, streaming now on Disney Plus, especially this episode, since it's about episode 7. Let me know what you think about the series, the episode. Let me know what you think about anything. Drop me some comments. Let me know. You guys are awesome. Thank you.